Okay.
Very good.
So now, our last question. It
Yes.
is David's turn to start.
Our last question, which the question is, can vampires get tattoos? Hopefully we all have strong opinions on this one.
Two things about inappropriate touch. No.
I know. And there's only two of you, so I have to target one of you a second time. And it's going to be Liz for a counterpoint.
Okay.
So, what would initially be your point, so we know what your counterpoint is?
So honestly, on this one, I'm a little ambivalent. So normally, I'm a little ambivalent, and I kind of go both ways, but I'll pick a side. Pick a side, and I'm going to go with no tattoos.
Okay.
No tattoos for vampires. And I'll express myself as to why here shortly.
Okay.
So, are you counterpointing that yes, now that they have tattoos?
No,
or-
that's my counterpoint.
Oh,
My
is that
counterpoint
no?
is that they may not get the tattoos.
Okay.
You may not use your hands, though.
Ah, okay. Sometimes this really bites me, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. Okay. And you, David,
Yes.
may not say tattoos.
Oh. That's a bit evil.
I was originally going to say vampires, but I realized tattoos, I think, will be more difficult.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
Okay.
agree. All right, start the timer.
So, I mean, part of me wants to say that yes, a vampire can get ink. I mean, they were human. They've got human flesh. They can be cut and they bleed and all that Shakespeare stuff. But depending on how you view like the lore of vampires, if when they are injured, they heal back up to exactly what they were when they died. Even if they got ink, it's just going to fade away because it's damage to the body, and their supernatural nature means that it's gonna get rejected. It's gonna go away.
Ejected from the skin or
Yeah.
something.
So I mean, I'd say that yes, they can get ink, they just can't keep ink.
Yeah.
That's kind of the direction I was going to go. Is that because they heal automatically, it pushes all the ink out of their skin. So we dabble with essential oils from time to time. A little more than dabble, but we had a friend who there's an essential oil called Heliochrysum that is incredibly healing to your skin. And I have had friends who have literally used it as liquid stitches before because of how fast it acts on injuries. And so one of our friends' husbands got this really expensive tattoo and went home, and instead of using Melaleuca, tea tree oil, lavender on it to help keep it oiled so that the tattoo would heal properly, he decided to use the Heliochrysum on it.
It was a double whammy.
And it literally pushed the ink out of his skin, out of the tattoo, because of how fast it was healing the pores where the tattoos were going on.
And
Heliochrysum is expensive, so he used about $100 worth of oil to take away the $300 tattoo. And his wife was pretty cheesed. So that's kind of how I imagine it would go with vampires, right? Like, if you heal that quickly, the whole concept of you drink the blood to heal right away, and that's what's keeping you immortal, then I would imagine it'd be kind of the same thing. So if you took the damage from taking the tattoo and allowed it to sit while you didn't drink blood and you didn't heal, then it would last until you had to drink blood, but as soon as you drink blood, it's going to go away.
So
So you can't really keep it.
given the number of games in vampiric lore about games about vampires and vampiric lore we've done with vampires, I'm wondering if you tried to do a tattoo but you used a method of applying the ink that, like, if it's a world where vampires take particular damage from silver, or the claws of another immortal or supernatural being, or
So if it's
something.
if it's a wound that you could never supernaturally heal, then I would think it would work. But if there's any,
Like if you're using needles made of silver
right,
for the ink injection or
but,
so,
but
would
the problem
would that work?
But the problem then becomes that it's never going to heal. So will it actually ever become a tattoo, or will it just be a scabby grossness that doesn't actually heal and turn into a tattoo? Because if you've seen somebody who's like 2 days into a new tattoo, it doesn't look right yet. So then it wouldn't ever like actually turn into being the tattoo.
But is that what actually happens in most of those settings with damage from those type of weapons?
Well, I think it depends on the setting.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Because, in a lot of cases, it's that they don't heal, or it's a result of they heal, but they're left with a scar.
And that's what I'm
And
wondering.
So left with a scar, then again, you don't have the ink. You might have a brand, so they could potentially get designs branded onto their body with, silver or holy water or something.
Okay.
But I still don't think they could get permanent ink.
So give me a counterpoint to that.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about this, theoretically, if they could use holy water in the ink, or just the ink gets blessed, if we're going to that level of suspension disbelief, then theoretically, at that point, the ink is injected, the holiness of it burns it into the vampire's flesh, and thus the vampire ends up with a colored brand, which would be from the ink. So theoretically, you could make it happen, I guess, in that particular case, if that's how if that's how the laws of that particular vampiric world works.
It kind of makes for an interesting character idea. The tattooist
Tattoo
to the
artist
undead.
priest.
Yeah, the tattooist to the undead. Especially if it was for like a particular religious sect of vampires. So it was a tattoo being used for a mark of the order.
So can you, Nathan, give me a source of a vampire with tattoos?
Well, I know I've seen different movies and things like that where there have been vampires that had tattoos, but unfortunately my memory at the moment is having some trouble with that. Trying to remember if there was a tattooing thing in the Blade series, but
I
I
want to say there might have been in the first movie.
that there was
think there
something
was,
about
too.
a tattooing, and that's one of the things, or maybe that was just with the humans that worked for the various vampires that they.
Because they did have that blue light, black light tattoo thing to be able to detect if they were essentially a ghoul or whatever.
Yeah, some of it is running together with Black Panther for me now.
But I think they did that to the vampires too. I think the vampires had a different tattoo. So yeah, I think that you're right. I think that counts.
But I can't fully remember, so I could be wrong on that one. But I
Okay.
seem to remember there being a tattoo mark or something that he looked at to be able to say, yeah, you're owned by this particular vampire.
Calling you on hands.
Oh, damn it. You are correct.
So,
Well, at least I'm consistent.
see if you can give me a counterpoint against your view here, which I think Liz and I are on the same point of view on whether vampires can get ink, but you seem to you're fighting hard.
Well, no, I can see that healing would, I think if they already had tattoos when they got turned, they would keep them. Most likely. Although there is that kind of question a lot of times when someone seems to be is beaten up and then turned, they seem to heal all that fight damage. And so there's not really a clear cut, okay, so how much do you heal when you get turned? Is it just immediate damage? Does old scars stay that way? Because a lot of things do have, the limping vampire because he had been damaged before, versus oh no, it got healed and you're fine.
Twilight, it fixes everything that's wrong with you.
They
Well-
also sparkle.
Well, and for that matter,
It fixes everything that's wrong with you because regular people don't sparkle.
Twilight has the issue with they're not undead, and aren't their skin something like marble or
Yeah.
diamond or something like
Diamondy
that?
stuff. That's why they sparkle.
So I don't know that you'd have to. I don't know that you could find a needle that could carve them.
Vampires in Twilight don't have tattoos. I'm just saying.
Okay, I have not read this books, nor will I.
You're not allowed. It's true.
I've seen the movies, but I've not read the books, and so yeah, I don't know that there's something that can carve their skin.
There's not.
Um,
They talk about it.
okay. Now maybe someone could take a Sharpie to them, but that's not really a tattoo at that
I
point.
mean,
That's
it's a
more
temporary
graffiti.
tattoo. Like you could do henna.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could do a henna tattoo.
So I don't
just
know if
gets
henna
in-
counts.
Yeah, when you get into the definition of what
I
counts.
mean, when it
for
wiped
this.
off, it would be gone, but you're supposed to leave it on for as long as possible, so it wouldn't stain. It would just hang out.
Might that way they can at least go to clubs and still
Right.
get in and out.
So, are you going to accept
But-
that as a counterpoint?
I will. He's wibble wobbling there, but we'll let it happen.
We have 16 seconds for any cards that are left to play. You're just gonna. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think marble-skinned vampires, or how do you think marble-skinned vampires or diamond-skinned vampires would be able to get any type of ink?
I mean, it would have to be an external thing, as Liz mentioned. It'd have to be henna or painted on, and I mean then it's just in that case probably not going to stay around. So I would have to say no.
Would we count?
I mean, well, if we go strictly the specifics of the question is, can they get? It doesn't say will it stay. So if you are very technical with the wording,
Then we've agreed that all of them can. Well,
Get them.
almost.
Can-
But they won't stick around.
Well, the Twilight ones still can't
Get them.
yeah,
Right.
unless we count henna or other temporary things which are more surface level.
Right. Okay.
One last little question is: if their skin is kind of like diamond, could you kind of chip lines out of it and then like pour molten gold?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think we've stepped into a whole other way of modifying the body at that point.
Yes. But I think okay.
Yep.
There you go. All right.
I did not say the word.
You did not say the word. You did not.
Yeah.
Did I counterpoint enough?
I mean, based on what you said your thing was at the beginning, I think we can count that, yes.
Does anybody have any action cards left? Actually, no, we'll do that at the end. We'll do trophies first. We'll do trophies first. Okay. David gets to give his trophy first.
We're going to give it for Nathan for best personal example because he went through the entire gauntlet of vampire fiction, including Twilight, to make this happen.
I had to go to the dark place,
Yes.
or the shiny place.
The
as it may
shiny
be,
place.
Yeah.
Sparkling.
But I had to sparkle plenty.
Who are you trophying?
I was trying to decide. It's his thinking face.
Trying to think of best personal example, because that's what I have left. But neither of you are vampires.
It's true. Neither of us are vampires that you know of.
If you are, you're daywalkers, which means you're not really vampires. Or you sparkle.
I mean, I did give the example of the person that we know and how that influenced my decision on how the vampires work.
Okay.
I'm going to give David best wordplay because he danced around that word the entire time.
I was a dancing king.
You were a dancing fool.
I have one action card left, so that's going to cancel out one of my points.
Yep. And then we count. Everything is worth 1 point.
I think
I've
Liz
got
might have
6.
run away with this.
I think I might have won.
All right, so forest fire.
11.
Yep.
I have
got
6.
So it wasn't too bad.
So
like,
6,
even though you didn't get your
6,
talents.
8, and 11.
Yeah.
You only got pretty much twice as many.
I mean, that's true. But all right, it's a good game, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
for sitting down and talking with us. And I will look forward to our next round of Mixed Company when we get to play again.
Sounds good.